Today's guest didn't just chase uniqueness, she built an entire brand around it. Hi Favour, it's good to have you on the podcast.
Hi Fatima.
How do you balance your academics with running multiple fashion brands?
I haven't even found the right balance. I cannot even lie.
Any success stories so far?
I count everything as a win, honestly.
What lessons have you learned so far?
Nobody will push you the way you will push yourself.
What does packaging mean for a fashion brand?
Packaging is a way of showing your customers how much you value them.
Tell us, what elements do you believe should be present in a fashion brand's packaging to reflect its identity?
First off, your brand name.
How can young fashion entrepreneurs use packaging creatively without breaking the bank?
Start small.
Are there any packaging trends you believe new fashion brands should pay attention to?
Recently, what a lot of people do is
Campus Hustlers with Fatima, Zakariyya.
Today's guest didn't just chase uniqueness, she built an entire brand around it. Stay tuned, you're about to hear a story that proves creativity can spark from the simplest desires. Hi, welcome to yet another interesting episode of Campus Hustlers, your weekly dose of entrepreneurial spirit unfiltered. I'm your host, Fatima Zakariyya. I am an entrepreneur, a corporate event anchor, a voiceover artist, and of course, I am a podcaster. Joining me on today's episode of Campus Hustlers is Favour Bauche, a 300 level nursing science student at Kaduna State University and a rising student entrepreneur passionate about fashion and individuality. She is the founder of TheEazer Fashion, a brand dedicated to helping young ladies embrace their uniqueness and radiate confidence through their personal style. Inspired by her childhood love for standing out and looking different, Favour built TheEazer Fashion as a platform for creativity and self-expression. Her journey into fashion led her to establish two exciting sub-brands, TheEazer Thrift, where she offers a curated selection of thrifted clothing to give young women a variety of unique wardrobe options, and Up-cycled by TheEazer, where she transforms old clothes into stunning new designs, breathing new life into fashion pieces with innovative touches. Favour's story is a beautiful blend of passion, purpose, and entrepreneurship, showing how a desire for uniqueness evolved into empowering others to wear their individuality with pride. Hi Favour, it's good to have you on the podcast.
Hi Fatima, thank you for having me.
How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing so well too. Alright, so let's get into it. Favour, can you take us back to where you first realized you wanted to start TheEazer Fashion?
Okay, so the desire to start this brand started, when I was done with secondary school and I wanted to learn tailoring, how to sew clothes. So that's where the whole thing started, and I decided, okay, I really want to go into this and go into it with all of me. So yeah.
Wow, beautiful. Okay, so now, Favour, I'm curious. What inspired the name Eazer? Can you tell us the story behind that name?
Okay, so funny story. I actually did not come up with this name. So my sister gave me this name, but it didn't just come like that. So when I started sewing, when I just got into it, I was, sewing clothes, and I decided, okay, how about I add, selling fabrics, so the customers would just get the fabric from me and then I would sell and, just make their dresses for them. So at that time I was just on Facebook, and WhatsApp, I think. So I wanted to make a post and I didn't know how to, pull my words together, and my sister is so good with writing and all that. So I went to her and I want to post this, I want to start this, so please can you help me pull words together and all of that. And she was like, oh yeah, no problem. She wrote it, and at the end of the caption she wrote for me, she just wrote TheEazer. Eazer is actually a Hebrew word that means helper. So, but it actually spelled as E-Z-E-R. There's no A, so I added A to mine. So when she did that, I posted it, and I just continued doing that, and I always used the hashtag TheEazer. At that time, I was still looking for my brand name. I didn't have a name yet, and then people just started calling me Eazer. So people started calling me TheEazer because of the hashtag I was always using. And one day I was like, that is actually your brand name. Just use this name because everybody knows you as TheEazer, and that was it. And so I just, decided to name my brand TheEazer Fashion. So yeah, my sister did that for me.
Interesting. Shout out to your sister. I love this, and I love the meaning behind the name. I love the fact that it means the helper, and yeah, you're helping women look unique. That's beautiful. I really love the story behind it. All right, so tell us, what inspired you to add TheEazer Thrifts and Up-cycled by TheEazer under your brand?
Okay, so like I said, I sew clothes, and my brand is built around uniqueness and individuality, just you standing out as an individual. So in my desire to look different from every other girl around me, I somehow discovered thrifting, those are like second-hand clothes and all of that. And surprisingly, I was so good at picking out my own clothes. And I'm like, I'm this good in picking what I wear. And a lot of people see me and they're like, I like your clothes. Where do you get it from? I like your style. And I'm like, there's a need to help these people. So I decided to go into thrifting just, to provide, more variety for women and young girls to look absolutely amazing. And then Up-cycled by TheEazer started when I think I had this jean, and I wanted to do something with it, but I did not know what. And I saw an upcycled skirt somewhere. I don't know how the person came about it, but I was like, I'm definitely going to find out how to do this. And I told my friend, I remember telling my friend, I'm going to make an upcycle. And she was like, okay, I'll wait for you to make it. And then, I upcycled my jean into a skirt, and everybody, I think in my room at that time in hostel, were like, I really want this. I'm like, oh wow, so y'all want this? And I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to look into doing this for people. I mean, rather than throwing out your old clothes, you can make something new with it. So yeah, that's what inspired Up-cycled by TheEazer, all in the bid to look unique and different. Yeah.
Wow, beautiful, interesting. I really love that. And you know what? The name of your brand just keeps coming. TheEazer, the helper. Beautiful. All right, so now tell us, how do you source inspiration for the designs you create or curate?
Okay, so for the designs I curate for my brand, I always say is a brand that started with God as the middle of it, as the center of it. So my designs come from Him. I can say it honestly, directly from God Himself, because I cannot and I do not do anything in my brand without Him. I always say my brand, is a brand led by God the Father, the Son, the Spirit, and me, the human. So I honestly would say my designs and anything that I do that is creative for my brand, I source it from Him. Yes.
Wow. But then, are you trying to say that you don't use, let's say, Pinterest, Instagram, you don't source inspiration from all these platforms?
Oh no, I do. I'm saying the main source is from Him, but then of course other factors around Pinterest, Instagram, people I follow on Instagram also have a way of giving me an idea, and then I think, okay, how can I make this mine? How can I add mine to it? I'm a big Pinterest girl, trust me. So yeah, other apps and other people also help in that way.
Exactly. All right, so tell us, nursing science is demanding. Yeah. How do you balance your academics with running multiple fashion brands?
Let me be honest, I haven't even found the right balance. I cannot even lie. Nursing is demanding, like you said, and running 3 brands, or a brand and having 2 sub-brands is not easy. And I cannot lie, I've not found the balance. But what I have done so far that works for me is when I'm in session, I don't sew clothes. I rather just, face thrifting. Now, I don't do upcycles and I don't sew because I don't have a sewing machine in school, because I'm staying in a school hostel and all of that. So I cannot, have a machine in school. I can't inconvenience my roommate. So when I'm in school, I just do thrifting. I just thrift because I just get them, take pictures, and then I post it and people get them. And then when I'm on holidays, I then decide to go to sew. So when I'm on holidays, I don't do much of thrifting. I focus on sewing and upcycling, making designs for people, turning old things into new things. So that's like something I've done for a year plus, and I'd say it works for me. Now, I know that's not a complete balance, but to some extent, I feel it helps me balance my academics and my business, because none is suffering if I do it like that. Yes.
Wow, interesting. All right, so tell us, have there been moments when you wanted to give up, and what kept you going?
Yes. I think as a business person, these moments are moments that happen when you feel, am I even doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Yes, I've had those moments. But then when I remember that I am building something that is out to help people. It might not look like much to many, but for me, the idea of looking unique in what you wear really is a big thing for me. And I believe strongly that it's a, desire that so many young girls have, ladies, to want to always look stunning in what they wear. So when I feel like giving up, I just remember you're doing this not just for you. You're helping women. They might not be plenty, but you're doing something and it's impacting lives in its own way, showing people that if this is your style, you can own it and the world will see you as you like that. So that's what keeps me going. The fact that, okay, I'm not just doing this for myself, I'm helping people in my own little way through fashion. So that keeps me going on hard days.
Wow, love that. Okay, so now tell us any success story so far. Any success story. What has been your greatest achievement since starting your brand, TheEazer?
Well, for me personally, I count everything as a win, honestly. So when I can't think of a very big one, but I remember there was a time last year I was selling thrifts. I was in school, I was in session, and I just got these thrifted skirts and all of that. And I should got quite a number of things, and I think I sold out that day or the next day. Those clothes didn't stay for long, and I was like, oh wow. I was really happy. That was like, I was very, very excited. At some point I could not even believe that I was selling out everything. Now usually the clothes, stay for like a whole week. Sometimes depends on what I bring. But that particular day, it was like everybody just wanted what I had, and it sold out, and it was really huge for me. I was so happy. Yeah, so that's like one of my major, success stories. Just see my small brand selling out in like a day. Yeah.
That is indeed a success story. All right, so tell us, what lessons have you learned so far? So far, so good. What lessons have you learned so far as entrepreneurship is concerned?
I'll say my number one lesson that I've learned is, I don't know how to put this, but you're your biggest push. Nobody will push you the way you will push yourself. I mean, people around you, yes, of course, they might be supportive in their little ways, but it starts with you. The day you decide to give up, every other person will give up with you. But then if you keep going for yourself, and people follow suit and all that. So I see it as you're your biggest push, your biggest motivation. Have a reason, have a purpose. Why am I doing this? Have it at the back of your mind that if I don't do it, nobody will do it for me. Nobody will carry my brand on my head the way I'll carry my brand on my head. So I think that's like one of the major things I've learned in business, that you're your biggest push. People will support you, yes, but if you don't push yourself, there's a limit to where they can help you too. So carry your brand for your head. That's like one of the lessons I've learned so far in business.
You are your biggest push, and indeed, that's just the truth. That's just the truth. If you don't show up for yourself, if you don't support yourself, you don't push yourself, no one is going to push you. People will push you if they see you pushing yourself. Yes, this stood out for me. Thank you so much for this. All right, so tell us, as a nursing student, I'm wondering, what are your plans after graduation? Do you intend to further with your career in nursing, maybe becoming a nurse, or you just want to graduate and face business? What are your plans after graduation? Or you want to do both?
I'm not even waiting till graduation. I am doing both, because when I started my brand and I just got into school, I told myself that does that mean I'm going to leave soon because nursing is a 5-year course in my school? So I'm like, does that mean I'm going to leave my brand for 5 years? No, now I can't do that. So I'm not even waiting till graduation. From now, I am building a brand that will continue even after graduation, because after graduation I intend to continue as a nurse and also keep my fashion brand going, because at the end of the day I'm all about impacting lives. I will impact in fashion and I will impact in the nursing world as well.
Wow, beautiful. I love this. Okay, so now tell us, before we dive into the second segment of the podcast, what advice do you have for young entrepreneurs alike? For young entrepreneurs out there, in all honesty, just start. I really would tell you to just start. I remember when I started my thrift business, I think I came back with just a nylon. Now I know my brand hasn't gone that big yet, but I've grown. So to young entrepreneurs out there, to those ideas you have, to those things you want to start, honestly, you won't even know that people need them till you start. I know, well, a few people might have known of upcycling, but then I brought more light to it and I'm putting more energy to bring more light to it to people. I recently did a discount on my upcycling services and I got quite a number of people that were asking, what does this upcycling
mean. So I had to explain what upcycling mean, and people are like, wow, that's nice, that's crazy. So whatever it is you have an idea to do, just start. It might be with just that one friend, it might be just with your family members, but just start. Don't wait till when you finish school or whatever. Start now. It starts now. I'm sure you've seen a lot of motivations out there that say just start, and it is not a lie. Just start. When you start, I promise you, one step after another, you figure it out, you find your way, and you will really, really reach out to the people that need whatever service it is you are providing.
Wow, beautiful. Just start. If you're listening right now, just start. If you have started, do not give up. Just keep pushing. You are your biggest push, like Favour said. Okay, so Favour, finally, before we dive into the second segment of the podcast, where can listeners find you? Because they have been listening to you, and I know most of them can't wait to connect with you. So tell us, where can they find you? Are you on social media?
Yeah, I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook, TheEazer. So it's THE dots, then TheEazer, all in small letters. Yeah, I'm not on TikTok. I think I was, but I can't find the account again. So it's basically just Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, I will definitely drop that at the description box. Thank you so much for that. All right, listeners, we are about to dive into the second segment of the podcast. All right, so we are going to be discussing the topic, the role of packaging in fashion brand identity. Packaging isn't just about wrapping product, if you would agree with me. It's a major part of how a brand tells its story. So let's dive into it. Favour, are you ready for this segment?
Yes, I am.
All right, Favour, tell us, in your opinion, what does packaging mean for a fashion brand beyond just wrapping the product?
Okay, for me, I would say packaging is a way of showing your customers how much you value them. Personally, I would like to use myself as an example. Now, my roommates or my friends used to always say I like to package things. Now, I mean it. I'm very serious. I like to package things down to my clothes. I literally package them and keep them in my box. I don't know. There's just a way it makes me feel. It makes me feel like, oh, this new, this, something. So for me, I see packaging as a way of showing your customers that I really value you, because you have the option of giving them whatever they ordered from you, like your bare hands, just take your clothes or whatever. But then wrapping it up, putting it together, writing a thank you note, putting a thank you card, just shows how, this order meant so much to me, and you that ordered it, you mean so much to me. So it's a way of showing your customer that you value them, personally though.
Wow, interesting. And I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. Yes, it's a way of showing your customers that you value them. All right, so tell us, how do you approach packaging for the TheEazer Fashion and your sub-brand?
Okay, so for the TheEazer Fashion generally, I write thank you notes myself. Well, recently I've been deciding to just, get thank you cards, because writing sometimes takes time. But then at first when I started, I write thank you notes to whoever might have ordered from me. And then for the TheEazer Thrifts, the packaging there is a bit different. So when I started thrifting, like I said, I wanted to use it as a way to show people individuality is nice. Own your style, be your person. So I had this number of sticky notes. So what I did was I got the sticky notes. Now, I don't know, there's this game that we used to play when we were growing up. You fold the papers and then you write colors on top and then you play a game, 1, 2, 3. Somehow, I don't know how to describe the game, but I hope you understand. So for the TheEazer, what I do is I get the sticky notes and then I, make the game, like fold the papers, and then say you got like a copy pants from me. What I do is I write colors on the game, colors that would go with your trouser. That's my own way of giving you a little styling tip. And then inside, when you open the numbers, you see sometimes I write you're beautiful, just words to make you feel like the princess that you are. Sometimes I go ahead to add Bible passages that just encourage here and there. I just write little words of motivations, and that's just basically how I go about it for the TheEazer Thrifts. Yeah, and it was nice. I got a lot of feedback from customers. They're like, thank you for the game. I can't remember the last time I did this. It was nice. So yeah, that's how I go about my packaging.
Wow, this is beautiful. Absolutely, it's beautiful. And one thing I love about it is the fact that you take your time to write on sticky notes. No, you don't just go to a graphic designer, design something random for me, print multiple out, and then I will just keep putting it inside my packaging. No, I love the fact that you take your time to do it yourself. And it brings us back to what you said initially. You saying that packaging is a way of showing your customers that you value them. I don't know how much a vendor can show me that they value me if this person actually take out her time to write, as in you write with your hand. I love this approach, and I'm definitely going to implement this. Trust me. And that's why this is Campus Hustlers. Yes, whatever you learn here, you implement. And I'm also learning as the host of this podcast. So definitely I am implementing this, and I trust that most of our listeners are going to learn something from what you just said. I love it. Favour. All right, so tell us, can you share an example where your packaging made a difference in how customers perceived or interacted with your brand?
Yeah, like the example I gave of using sticky notes here. So I've had people reach out to me and like, it's not just the clothes, but what you wrote really made me feel good. Thank you. Sometimes you see they, take pictures even and post it on their status like, I got a sticky note from Favour, this, that. So in a way, it helps them, or it made them feel really, really happy. I don't know how exactly they felt, but if it was me, I'd be really happy that someone took out time to remind me that I am beautiful, that, I am worth it, and all of that. So that's something that my brand has done and has reached out to people in that way. And I'm sure has also helped, with the way people see my brand.
Beautiful. All right, so tell us, what elements do you believe should be present in a fashion brand's packaging to reflect its identity?
First off, your brand name, of course. Your brand name should be there. Your social media handles, your phone number should be part of your packaging, because I believe aside showing your customers value, you also don't know who your next customer is. You could just give a nylon package to your brand name and everything, and someone could say like, I've actually been looking for someone that sells something like this. Let me just, copy her number from here. So for your packaging, whatever, a box, a nylon, whatever it is, your packaging, I believe your brand, at least your brand name should be there. If your social handles won't be there, your brand name should be there. Social media handles should be there. Your phone number, your location, and then a thank you note should also, or sticker. It doesn't have to be a note, a sticker or a card, just something to show that, I appreciate, because, there are so many vendors like you out there. The fact that your customers chose you, you should also show them that, I'm choosing you back. Thank you. So I think a thank you note, sticker, or whatever to just show a little appreciation should be part of your packaging. Those are the elements I believe should be for your packaging brand.
Wow, interesting. I love this. Okay, so now tell us, are there any packaging trends you believe new fashion brands should pay attention to? Every day new things keep coming up. So are there any?
Well, I don't know much, but I think recently what a lot of people do is adding, something, different. Now you see people go ahead to add, sometimes people add gifts, just a little gift. I think I've seen a brand that adds I think it's chewing gum to all of her packages. She's always adding a little gum in there for her customers. I've seen some that add this scrunchie. So I think one is maybe adding a gift, and I don't know if they do that only on their discount sales, but then I think adding a little gift, something very tiny somewhere in between, people do that now, and I think it's really, really nice. Another is adding something that makes your brand stand out. Like for me, I add the games. It might look very simple and silly and all of that, but then it's something that only my brand does, except for others that would want to implement that in their brand. So I think finding something, people do that now, finding something unique about your brand to just add to it also is something I've noticed people are doing now. So I think adding something unique, adding gifts here and there, using something different to package it. Now I've seen people create their own boxes themselves, and then they paint it the way they want with poster color and all of that. So that's also a way to stand out. I think people should look into that. I mean, making boxes are not easy, but if you can, I think it's nice that you took out time to do that for your customers. Yeah.
Beautiful. And to add to what you just said, I feel like people cherish gifts. Humans, we cherish gifts, no matter how little it is. I remember I used to add pen to my tote bag. If you order tote bag, I'm always putting pen inside your package. And then I did not really take it serious, but the reaction I used to see on students' face or on the face of whoever is buying, it comes with a pen, a free pen. I mean, pen is just 100 naira. It's not as if this person that is buying a tote bag worth 3,000, 3,500, 4,000, 4,500 naira cannot afford a pen. But then psychologically, there is just this thing that gifts does to human. So you can just try this approach by adding gift to whatsoever your customer ordered for. All right, so now Favour, as we've been having this conversation, packaging. Somebody somewhere is saying, I would really love to, but then money. How much am I making? How much profit am I getting? All this, all that. So now tell us, how can young fashion entrepreneurs use packaging creatively without breaking the bank? Even though I feel like indirectly you've given us an idea, yes, but then tell us, how can they do that?
Okay, like I said earlier, you can make your own boxes now. Even making the boxes, I feel might cost a bit because you have to get the materials to make the boxes. But at the end of the day, I just feel it's a decision you have to make for your brand, because honestly, packaging is important, right? But you start little by little. Now, I said it that I recently just want to, consider going into getting thank you cards, because, sometimes it's not always easy to write for all my orders, So you can start little by little. It doesn't have to be, get a box. I don't brand my clothes in boxes, not yet. I use a nylon, right? And then sometimes you can customize it if you want, and then you can have it plain. Then you use, the sticky notes to write your handles. It starts small. So I feel like it's a decision, first of all, you have to make that, okay, this is my brand and I want it to, reach out to more people. I want to show my customers that I value them. Sit down, cost it down. You don't have to add everything in it. You start little by little. When I started my packaging, it was just this transparent nylon, the one that you seal. Yeah, I think that one is very affordable. But when I started, I used to buy just a dozen. That was just 12. I was like, don't anybody will get. So I started like that, and then eventually I started to add, making more. Now I cannot even think of my brand without putting packaging in it. So you start small. You can start by just getting the transparent nylon. That's if you're in clothing, right? And then you just seal it up and just maybe write a thank you note to your handles, and that's all. That's very easy, very simple. It doesn't even have to be a sticky note. You can get A4 paper. Maybe you have papers around in the house. You just cut them in very pretty shapes. You really have to be creative if you want your brand to stand out, right? Because packaging is important. So you can start like that. Maybe if you're in clothing, like I said, get a transparent nylon, and get sticky notes or papers and cut them in fine shapes, and just write thank you for your order, thank you for patronizing me, and then maybe you just write your handles or something. In fact, I remember when I started thrifting, when I was using my sticky notes, sometimes I go as far as writing note. Okay, note, do not wash with this, wash before wearing, iron before wearing, do this. I just add little notes here and there. That's also a way of packaging. I started like that. That's for clothing, like I said. But for other brands, I don't know how they'll go about it, but I believe if you search, and then be grateful for how technology is now. There's nothing you ask AI that it cannot help you figure out, right? Or Google or whatever. You check, there are people like you out there also thinking, okay, how can I brand for my brand? How can I package it? But I don't have much money. You see creative ideas that when you see it will even cost you up to like 1K. This is it. It's just gum and cardboard paper. I go on now. Do you understand? So you have to be intentional. It starts with you choosing that, okay, I really want to show my customers that I value them. Because if you don't decide that, see, you can have money to do the packaging and you will still not do it. There are brands that don't really give two shits about packaging. Do you understand? So I feel it's first of all a choice you have to make. So if you make that choice, you then find ways. There are people ask around, how do I go about it? Ask, and you definitely figure it out, okay? And start one step at a time. You don't have to have everything. One little thing. Tomorrow you will expand. Next tomorrow you will grow. And before you know, the packaging is an A game.
All right. Thank you so much for this Favour. I must confess, it has really been an amazing time with you. Thank you so much for coming on my podcast. I enjoyed every bit of this conversation. Trust me.
Thank you too. It was nice being here, Fatima. Thank you so much.
All right, Favour, you can't go yet. I have just one more question for you left. So are you ready for my final?
Yes, I think I am.
All right. So this particular question I'm going to ask you, I don't know, maybe you've ever thought about it before. I do not know, but then it might require you to think. So it's okay if you want to think about it, but then you have to give me the answer right here. Are you ready?
Yes, I am. Sounds serious, but I'm ready.
All right. So if you could style any celebrity in TheEazer Fashion, who would it be and why?
You're right. I've never thought of this. Now, I know I have quite a number of celebrities that I like, but I've never really really sad to like think of styling somebody in my piece. Honestly, I cannot even lie. Even though I think there was a time I had this thing that I did with dress, and I think there was this song. It was Ira Star, right? Now I know Ira style and my style are not two, are not the same thing. But for some reason, I just thought, no, this thing should look something nice on her. But now that you've asked me, and I'm thinking again, who would I want to wear something from me? Oh my god. I think there are plenty and I can't narrow down one. I can't. Oh, Fatima.
Think about it.
Okay, I think I'm done thinking.
All right.
Okay, so I would like to style Jemima Osunde. She's an actress. I don't know if you know her. You should know her. So
Yeah,
she's a medical student as well. So, we relate on a lot of things.
Okay.
Yes.
So why would you love her?
I love how she, her fashion style and her sense of fashion is always very easy, direct, simple, and she always looks stunning in what she wears. Very simple, very direct, very, me. Very, I like that about her. I don't know. Everything she wears just fits her body right. I don't know if it's just me, but it just fits her body right. It's like meant for her. So there's just the way it makes her look. So yeah, I really like that. But I like how she's very intentional about what she wears. She knows what works exactly for her body. The colors she chooses, matches with her skin. Now, I don't know if it's just her or maybe her stylist involved and all that. But then I feel she's someone that is very intentional about what she wears and how she wears them. The size, the color, the fit, everything. Because when she wears it, everything just looks, this was made only for you.
Wow, interesting, and I love that. Hopefully one day, who knows, you may style Jemima Osunde, and I wish you all the very best in your endeavor, Favour.
Thank you so much, Fatima.
Like I said, it has really been an amazing time with you. I can't even deny it.
I had an amazing time too. I cannot even lie. I won't sit and answer questions like this about my brand back to back, but I did that today.
Yeah. You're welcome, Favour. All right, hustlers, that's all we have for today. I hope this episode ignites your entrepreneurial fire. Rate and review this podcast using the hashtag Campus Hustlers on all social media platform. If you're yet to subscribe, hit the subscribe button now. Until next week, stay hungry, stay focused, and keep hustling. And do not forget, you are your biggest push, like Favour said. Bye-bye.
Campus Hustlers with Fatima Zakariyya.